Spring for houseplants means we are getting into the growing season, but I've had some guests come stay at my house lately, so I'm a little bit behind on some of the more interesting plant chores, like stuff that's not just watering. And so that's what we're gonna be doing today, a little spring planty reset after just having a lot of guests in my house. I hosted my best friend's bachelorette party. I think we had like 6 girls here. That might have been including me, but definitely was hard to keep up with my plants then. And then I had my family come visit, which was super awesome. They'd never been to Austin before, so it was so fun to go around with my parents and my little brother. So some of the plant chores I have on the list to do today, one of them is to pollinate my anthurium silver blush. I also have pests for the first time in months, so we are going to be doing some pest treatments, some propagating, and maybe some moss bowl maintenance type things. So anyway, let's get into it. Happy spring. My sunroom is not air conditioned. I don't know what temperature. It says it's 80 degrees. It doesn't quite feel that hot, but it's warm in here. And guess what? My orchids are loving it. All 3 are working on blooming. I need more orchids. So the very first plant chore that I want to do with you is to pollinate my anthurium silver blush. I think this is extra fun because we collected pollen in my most recent plant chores video. So this should be familiar to you if you watched that video. I froze the pollen in this little foil thing. And it was kind of funny because a bunch of frozen meat ended up on top of it. But I've never pollinated an anthurium before. I watched a couple videos and I actually thought that I had missed the window because I knew that I should be looking for like little juicy specks on it. And then I guess the phase after that, I think, is when it gives off the pollen. And so phase 1 is there should be little specks of, I think, sap or something. And that's what this pollen will stick to. And then phase 2 is when I collected the pollen last time. And I looked at it and I thought it was done. And then I came back yesterday and I was like, wait a second, this is gonna work perfectly. So I don't even know if I can really see. I mean, there's no way you're gonna be able to see the pollen on this because it's just so small. But basically, I'm just going to take these little specks on a paintbrush and paint them on. And I don't know if anything will come from this, but I think it's fun, like no harm in trying, right? I actually don't know what anthurium can be pollinated, you know, like only certain ones can create life. And I'm just kind of assuming that I can pollinate this one against itself. I don't know. So basically, after some amount of time, if this works, I should see little berries on the plant. So I'm doing the whole thing. I guess sometimes people only do like 1/2. So I don't know if this is gonna work at all, but I'm gonna call that good. And then I'll just wash this brush. It's actually a paintbrush that we used to paint. But, you know, theoretically, some people who are really into anthurium, I guess, have disposable brushes because they don't want to accidentally pollinate another anthurium. I'm not that serious, so I'm just gonna wash this and call it good, and honestly probably paint with it. And yeah, there's still kind of some pollen in here, so I don't know. I'll probably just fold this back up and freeze it. The pollen, I think, will stay good for at least 6 months from what I was seeing online. So I don't know, might as well try. Little bit of a location change. I'm in my bedroom and we're here to work on my pilea peperomiodes right here. I'll change the angle so you can see it a bit better in a second. But this plant I found to be kind of finicky. It's kind of difficult for a plant that's been deemed as like a, you know, normal plant, I guess. It did used to be really rare and people just loved how the circular leaves looked, which helped increase it in popularity, but I find that it only does well in eastern windows. So it's in an eastern window, and yeah, it did not like my IKEA greenhouse. So it's here now, but I recently repotted it for the very first time And I repotted it into a pot that's probably too big for it, so that was questionable, but it looks really cute. And I added a stake, but it's not actually tied. So that's what we're gonna be doing right now. We're gonna tie it up to the stake so it's secure. So I just have some twine here. Oh my gosh, I am tripping. Okay, I did a big repotting session on a random Saturday, like right before all of the bridesmaids came to our house. And I didn't film it because it was just like, it just needed to be done. And if I had filmed it, it would have taken longer. It was sort of like a, oh my God, I have too many plants to repot. I just need to just do this. And now I have barely any pots. So that's the con, because I still have plants to repot. I can't remember if this was one I did in that session or if it was, or if I did do it in a video. I don't know. You also probably can't see that well. So I guess I'm sorry for that. But I guess the best way that people say pilea peperomiodes look the best is by staking them up and then leaving all of the pups so that it just looks really full. So that's what I'm going for in this scenario. There's a lot going on in terms of stems up here, but I really want to tie it. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to grow straight. I mean, it might not grow straight anyway. Oh my gosh. And there are a lot of pups in here, so I hope it will be really full and happy. Here we go. Awesome. I maybe tied that really tight, but should be okay. All right. Better already. Oh my gosh. While we're at it, I feel like this could be a good time to work on my philodendron gloriousum, which you're not getting the best angle of it right now, but don't worry, I'll adjust. I actually staked this up in a recent video, my last plant chores video, but it has 2 leaves now that I just think it'll look better if those are staked up too. And I've been meaning to do this, so let's get into it. I'm so happy this hasn't had spider mites. It's just, this plant generally can really be a spider mite magnet, so I'm always checking, and so far so good, thank goodness. I don't have spider mites in this house, so that's not the pest we're dealing with. I should probably go do the pest treatments ASAP, because this could obviously wait, but pest treatments shouldn't wait. But anyway, I'm not going to, we're gonna do this. I also just wanted to point out, because it's spring, I put on a little spring sundress. I actually broke out all of my sundresses right before the bachelorette party, but I still have all my sweaters in my closet. I haven't put those away, so it's sort of a weird amalgamation of clothes right now, but I'm so excited to have this dress out. It's one of my favorite dresses. It's completely linen, which will be good for hot Texas summers. So I have my bamboo stakes. I'm going to be taking 2 of them. And just taking up, see how far this leaf sticks out? I just think it's a little crazy. And this one is really sticking out quite far in the back. That's probably the worst offender. Oh my gosh. Let's see. So this one, I just think would look a little better if it was up here maybe. Maybe we'll try that. The other one might not be so bad. Maybe we'll only do 1. I guess we'll see. I guess I did, with the other ones, looks like I did plant Velcro, so this kind of doesn't match, but I don't know why I did that. I think it probably only needs the 1, so I'm just gonna leave it. I could tie it down below, but I think it's fine. I don't know, this one seems fine. This is what it's looking like. Obviously, all of the leaves are kind of going different directions. It's actually not in its spot, so maybe we should do some styling and then figure out how I want it to look. So it has been actually where this chair is in the past. I guess I could put it on the chair. I don't even know if this opens. Put the chair there. My brother was sleeping in this room on an air mattress, and so the chair was here as his makeshift nightstand. So maybe I'll move this. Oh, got stuck in my dress. And then, I don't know, I could put it back here. That's probably where it makes the most sense, but I could also put it in the corner of the room, but it's not gonna get as much light over there. And I definitely want it to grow. This is my prettiest plant for sure. I mean, just look at it. Like, especially this leaf, it's beautiful. This dress is a little long for doing plant chores, and we're not doing anything in the dirt today, or otherwise I would not be wearing this. I do have a bunch of soil to mix up, but I'm not doing it today. Maybe a future plant chores video. So this sits on a plant stand, and I always run into it when I open my IKEA cabinet. That's the con. And then I just never know like what looks like the front of this plant, because the front where it's growing actively is back here. So these are the prettiest leaves, but it's more full here. I think I might like this, but does this open? It's probably fine. Yeah, then a lot of the full part of the plant is towards the back. I don't love that, but I think this will work. What do we think? I think it looks good for this little corner. Yeah, I should really pick the sticker off there, but I'm not doing it right now. I just painted my nails, and every time I do something like that, it takes my nails off. So we're just gonna stick with this for now. We're back in the sunroom to work with some sphagnum moss, and I do have some moss poles that need more moss added to them, but I think I'm gonna prioritize my anthurium for the time being. And we'll start with this one. Look at how happy this is. This is the newest leaf. This put out after I repotted it into a bigger pot because it was so root bound. And there are two little plants in here. This is the other leaf. Oh no, I saw a bug. It scared me. Oh no. Yeah, this leaf looks really bad. I'm hoping the bug I saw was just like a springtail, because it freaked me out so much I flung it into the soil. Because now I'm worried I have thrips. I'm also so close to the sphagnum. I don't see anything. It's definitely dusty. It was specifically this leaf. I think that leaf just looks bad because it was repotted. That would make the most sense because I don't see anything else. I don't know what the bug I saw was. But it is working out on a new leaf that looks kind of bad. So I guess I'll keep an eye. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was, but I don't know if that's a watering thing. I don't know if it's just getting used to the repot. I don't know if it doesn't like the amount of sun in my sunroom. It could be a number of things. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on this one for the time being. But what I do want to do is wrap the base in moss. This is something that I found my anthurium really like. So we're gonna test it out. We're not really testing it out, I guess. I've done this on all of my anthurium. This one was previously wrapped in moss, but just since repotting, it's no longer. So yeah. There we go. So strange, the little bug that I saw. Can you see this leaf? Yeah, it looks like a sad leaf, but this one, beautiful. Also, in my sunroom, I just have this regular anthurium. It's an anthurium serrano, I think is how you say it. And it flowers the most beautiful purple flowers. And it's working on one, finally. I don't know how well you can see that, but I have just really been wanting this to bloom, which is why I put it in my sunroom. I know a lot of people don't like anthurium blooms, but then I see like Instagram reels where people are using them in their bouquets. Like, I don't know, there's this one guy that does like flower bouquets for the Kardashians, and he's using anthurium flowers. And I'm like, I don't know. Why do they get such a bad rap if people are literally putting them in their bouquets? Like, I think they're pretty. I don't know. Especially when they're a fun color. I'm so excited this one's working on a bloom. I think my sunroom at my old house was heated, and so it was really, and had air conditioning and stuff. And so my plants liked it a lot because it was quite sunny, but this one's very different because it just gets really hot. It's also even more sunny than my other one was. This one is mostly south windows, but anyway, so many of my plants are flowering in here, so I think they love it. But yeah, super glad this one's done. So the final anthurium that I want to do this to is, I think, also considered an anthurium serrano. I'm not really sure, but it's just another like regular anthurium. The leaves look the same, but this one flowers red flowers, and it's also much more full. This was a gift from my mom to my husband years ago, and now I take care of it. But this one I really like for the foliage because it's so full. I would also love for this one to flower, but I'm sort of, you know, prioritizing the leaves at this point because it's not in my sunroom. If I really wanted it to flower, I have it in my sunroom, but it's on my kitchen counter instead. And there are multiple plants in here as well, which I think helps contribute to it being so full. I'm gonna call that good. Look at how full this is. It's so full. So hopefully it likes the moss and continues to grow. The sunroom is getting hot, so we're taking a little break to hang out in my entryway, and I've sort of played around with the plants that I've had here. I like to walk in my house and immediately see a plant. I just like it. And so the plant I have right now is this chocolate aglaonema, and it's just not looking that great. I actually really struggle with aglaonema generally on how to make them look good, but this is definitely a low light area. And so I think if we add a grow light, that might help the situation a little bit. So that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna install a brand new grow light. So this is the grow light that I'm gonna be installing. It's another SANSI grow light. This is my fourth one. They sent me one, I think in December, and I freaking loved it so much that I ordered 2 more with my own money, and then they offered to send me another one. It looks like this is one of their smaller ones, so I'm actually curious to see if it will be too short for this, but I have some of their shorter ones and some of their longer ones, or like sometimes the size of the little puck is different, and I think it's the wattage or something like that, like the strength of the grow light is different on each. Let's get this open. I love both of them. I'm finding them to be really, really strong. I actually, this was really bad of me. I need scissors. Okay, scissors required, but I took plants that were never really in the sun, or like they weren't getting good lighting, and just threw the grow light on them for 12 hours. I think it's 12 hours because these have a built-in timer. Yeah, 12 hours. You can do 12 hours, 6 hours, or 3. Yeah, don't do that. Don't be me. They burned. I've had a bunch of my plants burn because you should really, first off, this is a stronger grow light than I thought. Like, I don't know. They're so small that I just thought that they wouldn't be that strong. Oh, this actually has a really long stem, so I think this will be fine. But yeah, I just was like, it's not gonna be that strong, it's fine. And then that wasn't true, it is strong. And also those plants just weren't ready for that. Like, you gotta ease them into it. So I've switched all of them to 6 hours, and I'll probably put this one on 6 hours. Maybe it'd be better to do 3 and work my way up, but I'm just not that patient. So what I need to find out is, I'm really assuming that there's an outlet behind these bookshelves. We've been using these bookshelves as our shoe holders since we've moved in, which has worked pretty well, but it's not the most efficient use of space. Like, we could put another whole set of shoes up here, but it's made for books, not shoes. So anyway, it's worked well enough, and sure enough, there's an outlet right there. But I think this means the bookshelves will have to stick out from the wall a bit, but that should be fine. It definitely will have to stick out, which means maybe I'll actually want to hang this art up. I've just been having it resting. I could also get a different plug that would be flatter. The end of the SANSI grow light is just a USB, so it could be theoretically attached to anything. But let's get this going. Okay. Oh, that was stuck together. The only mildly annoying part of using clip grow lights like this is that I tend to take my plants to the sink to water them, which means you have to unclip it, and then usually the clip sits down in the dirt, and so the clip is dirty. So sometimes I've started watering my plants in place more, which is definitely easier if you're busy. Like, it's much easier to go take a watering can and water this than to pick up a plant and move it to the sink. And so I'm actually considering doing more of that anyway. But yeah, if you're someone that picks up your plant and moves it to the sink, it's just something to consider. But I'm so happy with these grow lights, especially because they're so easy to move around my house. I have moved them, I don't even know. I got my first one, I think in December, and I've probably moved them around like 4 or 5 times. Just, you know, switching the plant that it's under, moving things around, especially since we recently moved. Things are just moving around, and it's so easy. It's not like you mounted something to a wall and then you have to figure out what to do. I'm so excited that SANSI sent me another one because I seriously love these, and they did send me a code for a little bit of money off. It's SANSI Sloan on their website, and it should stack with any of the like seasonal percentages off that they have on their website. I really recommend these. I seriously love them so much, and I guess we should turn it on, right? I'm sitting here yapping and I just want to show you what they look like. So I'll set the timer. Oh, that's not the on button. There we go. I don't know what the plus, oh. So maybe instead of adjusting the timer, I should dim the ones, because I guess it's dimmable. How well can you see that? It's so tall. There, now you can see, it's just so easily adjustable too. You can see it a bit better, but I don't even think I realized that you can adjust the brightness. That's really cool. So maybe I'll go back to 12 and just lower the intensity. I don't know. I'll probably do 6 for this, and then like a low intensity for now, because it hasn't had direct light in a while. And hopefully I can get this to look good. Let me know if you have any tips on how you like to grow your aglaonema, because I have considered growing this more like a bush. Like right now it's just one stem, and I could propagate it and then have multiple stems. I think I probably would like that better, but let me know your thoughts. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I think they look cool too, like just walking in your house and there's a little halo above your plant. I really like them. Okay, anyway, that's enough. Let's go back to the sunroom and let's do some moss pole maintenance. Can you tell that I'm procrastinating doing pest treatment? I have to check a bunch of plants for pests, and I saw some more, so I'm procrastinating. Back in the sunroom, ready to do some moss pole maintenance. So it seems like the general theme with moss poles that I've seen on the internet lately is that people are over them, but I love them and I'm doing more. So I guess I am bucking the trend there. But this is my philodendron white princess. I didn't have this growing up a moss pole originally. It was just on a little stake, and I was kind of on the fence whether I wanted to put it on a moss pole because the leaves are just so cute the way that they are. But then I decided that bigger leaves would be better. So I put it on a moss pole. I'm gonna actually move this up here. It does look like the leaves could be getting bigger, which is a good sign, but it doesn't seem to be really. Oh, maybe this little one. The little one actually seems like it is adhering to the moss pole, and the top one is maybe starting to, but not yet. And a lot of the leaves aren't looking the best. If you can see some of them, especially in the middle there. I don't really know why that is, but again, I'm just really having to experiment with the sunroom. It's so sunny in here. I have curtains up to try to block some of it, but I don't know if it's just like a sunroom frustration thing. I don't see any sign of pests, but yeah, it could be like a sunburn, a bit of a sunburn. But anyway, what we are going to be doing is putting more moss in my moss pools because I want to also do more of my little plastic cups in the top because that just makes it so much easier to water, and we will do that today as well. But before, and I'll explain more about that if you haven't seen me talk about that, but before I can do that, I really have to get the moss to just be kind of closer to the top. So this is step one. For once, I didn't over soak the moss, so it's not dripping everywhere. There we go. This is random, but I've always wanted to try Pilates. I just always felt like I would like it, something about it. And I finally took an intro class for the first time about a week ago. I think a week ago yesterday. And I was so excited because I thought that in the intro class, I would actually be doing Pilates, which in hindsight, it was 30 minutes. Like, of course, we weren't really gonna do anything. It was basically just teaching how to use the machines and stuff, which was good. But now I'm trying to take a class, and I think they just get really booked out on the weekends, which sucks for me because I really wanted to go on a weekend, but I'm waitlisted for a class tomorrow morning. I'm really hoping that I get in because I just really want to try it. I'm so curious, but I think this will be the first one done, and I'm gonna leave these out because I'll probably add the cups maybe after this. This one is my philodendron oxypopense. I think it needs some water, and the moss pool is definitely dry as well. It's not super dry, but it is dry. I would say that is just a product of me having guests over. It's okay. But this plant, when it's happy, it's really small, just as cuttings from my larger plant from when I moved. This was one that I potted up on my own because I was just like, I have too many plants to repot. On that stressful day I was telling you about where I was like, I just have to repot plants, I'm not gonna record it. But anyway, it looks really cool when it's mature, and just the shade of green is really pretty. It's looking a little wilty right now, so it's probably not worth me like really showing you a close-up, but it's just like a really pretty tealy kind of blue color. Just gonna use up a lot of my moss actually. It feels silly to add so much moss to a moss pool for a plant that's so tiny, but it's just so much easier to water with the cups. And it has to be full for me to add the cups, so it is what it is. Okay, so I'm out of moss. I think these were the only two that I had to do in the sunroom, but I have some in my IKEA cabinet that I wanted to do. So I'm gonna go get those and then get moss from my secret stash that I will explain shortly. So actually, all three of these, I don't know how you can see, the one in the back came from my IKEA greenhouse, and I was going to take moss from my prop box bins to fill these up, but actually what I'm going to do, because a couple of these are filled up too high for the cups to work, I'm just gonna steal some moss from this one and move it to this one. And that should work just fine. But I also think I might just start, because like a prop box bin is essentially a bin full of sphagnum moss, right? Obviously like there's plants in it, but I think I might just always keep a wet bin of sphagnum moss around because I really don't like having to wet it. So what if I just don't? What if I just always have wet sphagnum moss in a bin ready to go all the time? So we'll see, but that's kind of my long-term plan and thought. But I think it's time to do the cups for these now. So let me go get them and I'll explain a bit more. So I have my cups. I have more cups. This one's really little. Oh, this one's also super little. Baby cup. I have pins to make the holes in the cups, and then I have a watering can to make sure that this is functioning as expected. So basically, the idea with the cups, I didn't come up with this, but I just use it because it's so useful. Makes moss pools so much easier. If you have a plant like this is the really dry oxypopensae. If you have a cup with holes in it, we'll take one of these cups and you put the cup here. Instead of trying to water the moss pole itself, if the cup has little holes in it, it will slowly trickle down, which I love. It just is so helpful because you can just go to your moss pole, take a watering can, fill it up, and walk away. You don't have to sit there with a little squirt bottle trying to water it. And I really only have to do this if I'm really on top of it every few days, sometimes once a week. And usually, like, this moss is pretty dry, but it is not completely dry, the stuff at the bottom. And it's probably been about a week since, yeah, I think it's been like a week. So you can, like, this is not so dry that all of the roots are dead and it's not useful for the plant. Like, it is still slightly moist, I promise. I felt dry sphagnum moss, it sucks. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really feel like moss pools are that hard. I had a lot in Des Moines when I lived in Iowa. And yeah, when I moved here, I was like, I really want to have like healthy, happy, big plants. So that means moss pools because it's just really helpful for getting your plants to size up. But yeah, that's sort of my feelings on it. I know most people, I think, don't like them now that I see online. Let me know how you feel about moss pools. How do I open this? Okay. I will actually put holes in this. Also, this particular cup is kind of pretty, like in comparison to this one. I got these cups. We went to a whiskey distillery when my family was in Austin, and they had these plastic cups for water, and we were all drinking water, and I was like, Mom, Dad, Heath is my little brother, can I have your water cups? There's a part of me that wanted to take just a big stack of them, but I didn't. But I did get up to go to the bathroom, and when I came back, I got another water with another cup. Because they're just so handy. So I'm gonna start with 3. It really is a balance of not wanting it to be too much because then it will like spill everywhere, but it has to be enough that water will come out. And yeah, nothing's really coming out right now. Hi, Poplar, walking through. So we're going to poke another hole. I don't think Poplar likes it. It's okay, Pop. She loves noises, but she doesn't like scary noises. Okay, let's try this. I think we need another one still. Oh. Dripping a little bit. Okay, let's give this a go. Oh my gosh, it's still not really, nothing's really coming out. I'll try again. You really don't want it to gush out, so it's such a balance. Oh my gosh, guys, I just realized it's spring, which means it's gonna be time to film a spring plant tour because I'm trying to do a plant tour for every season. I think this is gonna be good, this one, because it was sort of dripping. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Yay, okay, one done. The oxypopensae. But yeah, I really want to do regular plant tours. You guys love them. I love making them. It's so fun to document what my plants look like. And I filmed a winter one. And so, yeah, I guess it's spring. So maybe in the next like month, I'll do a spring one. Pretty exciting, maybe April. And then I'll do a summer one. Obviously, the summer one is always fun because it's after a full season of just like peak plant growth season. Okay, so let's see. I have 4 more of these nice cups and I have 4 more plants to do. So I'm gonna prioritize using the nice cups because I just really like them. And I'll start out with 4 holes this time because I feel like I learned something with the other one. Then maybe 4 is just a better place to start. Really, maybe 5. I've done this before and then I've regretted it though if it's too much. And yet it wasn't enough. Okay. That's fine. And I spilled that everywhere. Also fine. Okay. There we go. 6 is the sweet spot. I don't have drainage trays under any of these plants right now. So hopefully, oh, that one is definitely dripping all over the floor. That's fine. That's fine. Next, we're gonna do my painted lady. I really had a tough time deciding whether I wanted to put this one on a moss pole, but it was a very similar decision to my philodendron white princess decision, where I was like, the leaves are really pretty. What if they were pretty and they were bigger? So that was how the thought process happened. Okay, let's give this a try. I think I did 6 right from the get-go this time, and it's perfect. So 6 seems to be the perfect amount. And we just have 2 more left to do. So this is my Monstera lischleriana, and this fenestrates beautifully. So it's on a moss pole because I want to see those fenestrations. Also, while my family was here, we drove to San Antonio to do just a little day trip. I had never been. And on the way to San Antonio, there are 2 plant shops that I had favorited, and I convinced them to stop for one of them. So we went, and I didn't buy any plants, and I kind of regret it, but it would have been an impulse purchase. Like, I'm really trying to only buy a plant if it is something that I really know I'm gonna love. Like, especially if it's a little plant, I want to make sure that I am going to love how it matures, especially with anthurium. But yeah, there was this beautiful Scindapsus. I don't even own a Scindapsus, and I was like, I need this. I think it was a Scindapsus tricolor and then a philodendron majestic. And I can't say that I regret not getting both. I know if I saw them again, I would buy them. And then it wouldn't be an impulse purchase because I looked up what they look like and some more about their care and stuff like that. The plant store was called Wild Roots, and it was just so cool. They sell a lot of their plants online as well, and they said that they're just now getting into the growing season, so there should be even more plants. I could see into the greenhouses where they were growing other plants, and it looked amazing. So definitely, even though it is very far away from me, we'll be going back to film a plant shopping video. I think I'll do just like a full day down there. Unfortunately, my camera did overheat, so I had to take a little break to cool it down, but I think I'll be good to go to just finish up this last one real quick, and then we can move on to other things in the air conditioning. It really doesn't feel that hot in here, but I know my camera is pretty sensitive to heat. Okay, I'm assuming that's gonna be perfect because 6 seems to be the perfect amount. There we go. And this is in my philodendron white princess. So yeah, let's go move on to some pest treatments. Before we do that, if my camera cooperates, I just want to show you so many of the blooms. So this is one of my orchids that's about to bloom. My Hoya compacta, which, to be fair, always blooms, but this is the first bloom it's given me that's been in the sunroom. Previously I had it in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet, but it is blooming. You already saw my silver blush is blooming. My big orchid freaking loves it in here. It's working on another bloom. You saw that this anthurium is working on a bloom. And then this orchid is also working on a bloom. They love my sunroom. So now we're in my kitchen, and I think I want to do some pest treatments. So, and we're just gonna do that on the kitchen counter. Get ready. It's not that bad, but I'm just not happy about it. Can you guess what pest is in the house based off of these materials? Put it in the comments below. You're right, it's mealybugs. And guess what? I found them on my brand new Hoya. We're gonna break out the flashlight. Okay, yeah, I definitely see at least one. And I'm curious how you guys would treat mealybugs on a cutting, because there's a part of me that just wants to dunk it in rubbing alcohol, the whole thing. So I'm also gonna try to get a video for you guys of the mealybug using my phone. We'll see how well it focuses. It's teeny tiny. You can kind of see it. Yeah, it just kind of looks like a speck. It's on this little speck. We're gonna just go ahead and kill it. They change colors. I don't think you're really gonna be able to see it, but they turn like a brown color when you use rubbing alcohol. So it's very satisfying actually. I know that one of the other Hoyas that I got also has them, but we're gonna be checking all of them. I think I might also change out the water that these are in. All right, fresh water in this mealybug infested plant, and I'm gonna put it away from the other ones, of course. And now I'll go get the other one. So when I originally found the mealybugs, I did already treat the pollinura before I had guests over, but then I saw that this one had them, my variegated Hoya Bella as well. I definitely still see them, but it's just so small. Like there's no way I'm gonna be able to get this on camera either, but I'll try. I will do my best. There you go. Oh, you can see it even moving. Ooh, I hate that. I don't want to watch it move anymore. I hate that so much. But yeah, this has been losing leaves, I saw. Like I just pulled a couple off. So I'm sure it needs watered, but also could be because of the mealybugs. It's just so annoying. And yeah, this one's in soil, so I guess it could have root mealies or something as well. I don't know. That was the only one that I saw. I'm glad I got a good video of it for you. I'll water this as well. Okay, so next I just want to check this variegated pollinura. I didn't see any when I last checked. I think we're still looking good, so that's good, but this is from the same place. And then I also want to check my Hoya Wilbur Graves from the same person. These were all on Facebook Marketplace, and I filmed a recent haul showing them all. And they are all rooting up nicely, so this is a good little update of how the roots are looking. But yeah, this also looks fine. So the other two Hoyas that I got are this Hoya multiflora that dries out so quickly. I really need to get this in a different pot. And it has 2 peduncles now. And then my Hoya quinquenervia. So we're just gonna do a little check. Yeah, looking okay. The nice thing about the clear pot is if I did have root mealies, I would see it in the clear pot. Hoyas just have so many little bumps that look like they could be mealies. This one isn't looking super happy lately. Oh, I take that back. It's putting out a little stem right there. Look at that little guy. That's funny, but I feel like the leaves are looking like bleached or maybe chlorotic, which could check out because it is in pond and I have not fertilized it, so that could be something I need to do. Yeah, this one's looking fine as well. I really don't have a lot of camera battery left, I think because it overheated. My camera is just dying more quickly. So there were just a couple things I wanted to do, but I was gonna change out the water on these propagations. The rest of them, I think I only changed one. So yeah, this is kind of my propagation setup. I have the 2 Hoya over there, and then the one that definitely has mealybugs is lower. But yeah, I was thinking about changing the water on these, but maybe I'll do it off camera. And here's just your update. Everything is rooting up super nicely. A lot of these I could probably pot up actually, which is exciting. So instead of that, I think that I want our last plant chore to be propagating my beautiful variegated Thanksgiving cactus. I love this cactus so much, and I think it needs repotted. Like I think it's drying out pretty quickly, but it's just one stem. And I think, why do that when I could have a big plant, like I was talking about earlier. So we're gonna take some cuttings and I'm just gonna propagate it in water, I think, and call it good. So let's get after it. So I feel like the best vessel to use would be something skinny, but I don't really have much. So we're just gonna use these. And I gotta go get my snippers. I'm really trying to be better about using my actual plant shears, but I can't find them. I feel like I got them out and then put them in a weird place when I had guests over, so I'll look for them. Instead, I'm gonna use just kitchen shears because my camera is literally about to die. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to chop. I actually didn't think about how I wanted to chop this at all when I was thinking about this, but I do think I'm just gonna take like one little stem piece at a time. So I'll start out with this little guy, and I don't really feel like this is gonna work well. Oh man. Yeah, that's not gonna stay up. Maybe I should have taken a bigger piece. Okay, this is really goofy, but I got my husband this Georgian lemonade from New York, and I saved it for him and gave it to him for Christmas because it tastes like a banana Laffy Taffy. And I think it might be too skinny. Like it's just gonna fall out. This is tough. What if I use tape? Okay, so I filled this jar up with water. I'm gonna try taping across. I've seen people do this with flowers. And maybe this will help hold it up. Oh yeah. I think that's gonna work. Perfect. Okay, let's take a couple more cuttings. This side is clearly the longest, so it feels like I should take cuttings from over here, but it's also splitting so beautifully. Let's do this one. That one feels like it could slip through. Try switching that. This is so silly. I think I'll take 4 cuttings. And then I will probably repot this when these get roots. I just don't want to chop it that much because it looks so good. But I'll do it because this will help it look even better. All right, here it is, the silliest propagation station. It's a little precarious, but I think it'll work, and honestly, this still looks really good. So that was the very last plant chore of this little spring planty reset. Actually, every single one of my moss bowls now is in great shape. A few of them need watered, but like other than that, you know, they'll have cups, they'll have enough moss, they're all looking good, ready for plants to root into them, which is super exciting. And, you know, mealybugs, they've all been killed. I have plant propagating, a new one, all very exciting stuff. So please let me know what you enjoyed or didn't like about this video. I've been trying out some new stuff lately, and at the end of the day, I want to make videos that you all enjoy watching, and so it really helps me when I get any sort of feedback on what you guys like or don't like. And the engagement really helps my channel as well. So it's just great all around. And I really appreciate you guys being here. I'm super close to 3,000 subscribers, which just feels like such a great, exciting milestone, especially when I took some time off last year for my wedding and getting laid off and moving across the country and things like that. It just feels so good to be back on it. And I'm really appreciating how much you guys are appreciating my videos. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!